Today I fucked up by using my roommate's toy NSFW. My roommate and I are pretty close and have an open policy about going into each other's bedside drawers, need condoms, lube, etc. As far as I know, neither of us has used this liberty until now. My roommate is out of town for a few weeks for a marathon and vacation, and I am kind of lazy when it comes to certain things. Due to improper planning, I ran out of personal lubricant, so I took a visit to my roommate's drawer to see if he had some. He did, as well as some other things. One of those things was what I can only describe as a triple cock ring contraction. For context, my roommate is a 6'2" black guy and I'm a 5 feet 10 inches ginger. Naturally, I assumed that, if anything, this device would be too big for me. I was woefully wrong. I was in the mood, so I didn't think through the possible consequences of placing my most precious parts in this stainless steel death trap. Almost immediately after wriggling my naughty bits into this thing, I realized my horrible mistake. Within 30 seconds, my twig and berries transformed into a grotesque set of eggplant and plums. As with any bad situation, I figured my best way out was to power through. I took the aforementioned lube and went to town. After what felt like a lifetime, I began to approach climax. For my trouble, I was hoping for an intensely pleasurable orgasm. Again, I was wrong. Instead of a powerful release, I was met with an intense pain in my perineum and nothing came out. This thing was so tight that there was no ejaculate. I freaked out. I figured once I got this nonsense torture device off my situation, things would resolve themselves, but again, I was wrong. The caricature emoji that was my junk remained fully engorged. I continued to freak out. I didn't want to go to the ER, and as some firefighter saw this horrifying mistake off my adult parts, so I did the next logical thing. I filled a bowl with ice and water, dunked my bits and hoped for salvation. After 15 minutes, the swelling subsided to the point that I could manipulate the affected area out of the contraption. After another 20 minutes of icing my genitals, I went to relieve myself and proceeded to pass what I assumed to be a frothy mixture of man milk and urine. 2/10 do not try. Too long didn't read, use a flexible cock ring, and don't be racist. Hey, today I fucked up. Proud of you guys for keep this FB of today I fucked up pretty civil. Sadly it is time for a lock due to the amount of off-topic discussions hitting the report wall. Keep up the good work. I think the weirdest part of this is using another man's cock ring. There is a reason why adult stores have a no-return policy. It's kinda like touching each other's dicks, but in a totally not gay way. My roommate is a 6'2" black guy and I'm a 5 feet 10 inches ginger. Sounds like the makings of a great sitcom. Or an even better porno? I could not figure out how this was supposed to work from the picture alone. After googling it I am in pain. Do you care to share any links so we can understand as well? Open sex drawer policy, WTF. This was the part that confused me the most. Today I fucked up by taking amphetamines and subsequently masturbating my limp penis for 6 hours. NSFW. Brief summary. I was recently prescribed an amphetamine medication. I took some and expected the typical described results. What I did not expect was to experience a sharply increased sex drive coupled with an unfortunate effect of impotence. However, this would not deter me from my goal of achieving sweet release. I was on a mission to give my brain what it wanted, apparently at any cost, and my rock-steady mental fortitude was nothing short of a fully loaded freight train without brakes. 10 minutes of sweet loving turned into half an hour in the blink of an eye. Confused, yet dedicated, I proceeded onward. The next glance at the clock revealed that 3 hours had gone by. How could this be happening? I thought, but I was far too invested at this point to give up. The next 3 hours went by as quickly and autonomously as the last, but after a total of 6 hours, the deed was done, and the ensuing moment of clarity was a grim moment indeed as I considered the consequences of my actions. My little man has receded mostly into my body and is now simply a swollen nub which stands stoutly as a monument to man's arrogance. Also, the entire member feels harshly chafed and my entire pelvic region is sore. I'm not looking forward to the next 24 hours. Aftermath, warning NSFW no blood. Album of what once resembled a fairly normal penis. I'm anticipating a few questions, so I will address them here. Were you ever erect? I achieved at most half chub intermittently for less than 50% of the entire session. Did you finish? Yes. Was it worth it? Absolutely not. Did you use any lube? No. Does it hurt? Terribly? Why did you do it? Because apparently I have no self-respect. Too long didn't read, got high and beat my dick like it owed me money for 6 consecutive hours, excruciating pain and shame ensued. Hey, a lot of you are mad because you saw a limp dick. The auto preview is built into Reddit's functionality. Select Don't Auto Expand Media Previews on Comments pages in your Preferences settings, or you can complain to the admins for making this feature in the first place at /r/reddit.com or contact@reddit.com. Oh god, it looks like the elephant's foot in Chernobyl. If you are going to continue with this hobby, I suggest investing on a bottle of lubricant. Just a thought. And a fleshlight. At least now everybody knows you're not a 2-pump chump. That's not necessarily true. I am a 2-pump chump, but take 6 hours to come when I take amphetamines. Today I fucked up by ruining my teacher's life. So like every other post, this didn't happen today, and this story will be kept as vague as possible while still telling the story because I don't want people to find out who I am, lol. In order to understand why this all happened, I have to explain that I was in high school and was dating a girl we will call Samantha. Well, when I started dating Samantha, I was friends with her sister Jocelyn beforehand, and it turns out that Jocelyn had a thing for me that I was oblivious to. Anyways, I thought she had gotten over it, as me and Samantha had been dating for over 2 years already, and there never seemed to be any sort of bad blood between the three of us. This is where the fuck up happened. One day in school, my girlfriend and I decided to skip class and were walking in the halls when we saw that a teacher had left their room open. Without going too much into detail, this teacher had the biggest room due to the type of class they taught. So we decided to go in there to skip class, and being horny teenagers, we started doing more than just talking and hanging out. After that, Samantha decides to tell Jocelyn what we did because it was super crazy and full of adrenaline. This is how I found out that Jocelyn was still holding resentment after all this time. She told her parents about what Samantha and I did in that classroom, and her parents called the school, which led to an investigation on the teacher to see if he was leaving his door unlocked on purpose to allow the students to go in there and do as they please. The whole investigation put a strain on an already weak marriage the teacher was in, which led to a divorce, and the teacher was found at fault for not locking his door and condoning this behavior, so he was forced to resign, and basically the teacher won't be allowed to teach again in our district. The teacher is now working at a local grocery store baking cookies, and basically I will always remember this shit as I feel awful and don't know what to do or fix it. Too long didn't read, had sex in a teacher's classroom, which led to the teacher having a divorce, and being forced to resign. P.S. Formatting is trash because I wrote this on phone, sorry. I feel really bad for the teacher. Good thing nobody used the room to plan World War III, imagine the teacher's punishment. Maybe if you fucked Jocelyn in that room, too, this wouldn't have happened. Should have fucked the teacher too. Just to be sure. Edit, my first gold comment is about fucking teachers. Thanks, kind stranger. One word? Jocelyn? Seriously? Op didn't fuck the teacher's life, Jocelyn and her parents did. No reason to go calling up the school making wild accusations that the teacher did it on purpose. I read the too long didn't read first, and I thought the student had sex with a teacher, which caused a divorce and their subsequent firing.